For years, fans whispered it, critics tiptoed around it, and insiders carefully avoided naming it outright, until Ronald D. Moore finally broke his silence and confirmed what so many had quietly suspected about Sam Heughan. Moore was never expected to say this aloud, and that was precisely why his words rippled through the fandom like a muted detonation. For years, he had remained composed, professional, and deliberately neutral whenever Sam Heughan's name surfaced in interviews. But this time was different. This time, Moore didn't sidestep the truth. He didn't dilute his meaning. He said exactly what fans had sensed for years. And in that instant, Sam Heughan's journey came into sharper focus, clearer, heavier, and far more complex than it had ever appeared. Beneath the triumph of Outlander, beneath the worldwide fame and constant adoration, there existed a reality that rarely reached the headlines. Moore revealed that Sam was never merely the lead actor on set. He was the load-bearing pillar, the steady constant, the quiet center others leaned on when the pressure intensified. That kind of responsibility doesn't come with standing ovations. It comes with fatigue, expectation, and an invisible strain few ever notice. Moore admitted that Sam carried far more than dialogue and choreography. He carried the emotional backbone of the show season after season, even when the spotlight made it all seem effortless. What stunned fans wasn't just the praise, it was the implication that Sam had been holding everything together far longer than anyone realized. Suddenly, his calm, controlled public image took on a deeper significance. Why had Moore waited so long to say it? Why now, as Outlander nears its conclusion and Sam steps into a new chapter of his career? Some insiders believe the timing was deliberate. This wasn't coincidence, it was a reckoning, a final acknowledgement of what Sam contributed behind closed doors. Not as a heartthrob, not as a fan fantasy, but as the backbone of a franchise that might have fractured without him. And once Moore said it, there was no erasing it. Fans began revisiting scenes with new eyes. Old interviews sounded different. Even Sam's silence seemed louder than before. Because when the creator of Outlander finally voices what so many suspected, it forces an uncomfortable question to the surface: how much of Sam Heughan's strength had been taken for granted all along? No one expected the most revealing tribute to come not from fans or co-stars, but from the man who watched Sam grow, struggle, and transform behind the scenes long before the world fell in love with Jamie Fraser. When Ronald D. Moore finally spoke about Sam in a way he rarely does, his words struck harder than any award speech. This wasn't polished promotion or scripted admiration. It felt personal, reflective, and quietly seismic. And once you truly listen to what Moore said, it becomes impossible to believe Sam Heughan's journey was ever as effortless as it appeared on screen. From the outside, Sam's rise always seemed almost too perfect. A Scottish actor lands a defining role, becomes the face of a global phenomenon, and evolves into one of television's most recognizable leading men. But Moore has made it clear that what audiences see is only the surface. Behind the fame, the fandom, and the iconic status was a man under relentless pressure, learning in real time, carrying expectations that might have crushed someone less disciplined. Moore has never been a showrunner who offers praise lightly. Those who've worked with him know he's exacting, analytical, and often unflinchingly honest. That's why his words about Sam carry such weight. When Moore says Sam grew into the role rather than simply inhabiting it, it isn't a casual compliment. It's recognition of endurance, resilience, and a quiet work ethic that doesn't demand attention but becomes undeniable over time. What many fans don't realize is that when Sam first stepped into Jamie Fraser's boots, he didn't carry the confidence people now assume. Moore has suggested that Sam was keenly, perhaps painfully, aware of the responsibility resting on his shoulders. He wasn't just portraying a character, he was embodying a literary icon cherished by millions. And according to Moore, Sam didn't arrive fully formed. He arrived ready to learn, willing to stumble in private, and prepared to push himself beyond comfort. That willingness is what Moore continually returns to when discussing Sam, not just talent, not just appearance, not just chemistry with Katrina Balfe, but consistency. Showing up every day, listening, adjusting, accepting notes without ego. Over time, Moore watched Sam evolve from an actor focused on precision into an artist committed to emotional truth. That evolution was gradual. There were moments, Moore has implied, when the weight of the role felt overwhelming, endless shooting days, physically punishing scenes, emotional arcs stretching across seasons instead of episodes. Yet Sam rarely complained. He absorbed the pressure and redirected it into performance. Moore once described him as someone who internalizes stress and transforms it into on-screen intensity, a quality that made Jamie Fraser feel grounded, human, and achingly real. Perhaps the most striking aspect of Moore's praise is that it extends beyond acting. He speaks of Sam as a leader, not because Sam demanded authority, but because others naturally gravitated toward him. On a long-running set with rotating directors and evolving narratives, Sam became a constant, a stabilizing presence who understood not only his role, but the rhythm of the entire production. Moore has also acknowledged that Sam's relationship with the audience is unlike anything he's encountered. The Outlander fandom is passionate, emotional, and fiercely protective. For many actors, that intensity would be suffocating. Sam, Moore says, learned to respect that devotion without allowing it to dictate his creative choices. That balance is rare, and Moore knows it. What gives Moore's words the greatest impact is their timing. As Outlander approaches its end, reflection replaces promotion. The legacy is already secure. And yet Moore chose this moment to publicly honor Sam's contribution, not merely as the face of the series, but as one of its emotional architects. In quieter interviews, Moore has hinted that certain storylines succeeded only because Sam understood Jamie on an instinctive level. He didn't just recite lines, he interrogated motives. He didn't just perform scenes, he inhabited them. That depth, Moore admits, elevated the material in ways no writer's room could fully anticipate. It's also telling how often Moore speaks of trust when discussing Sam, trust that a scene would resonate, that emotional beats would land, that silence could be as powerful as dialogue. For a showrunner, that trust is everything. It allows stories to breathe, risks to be taken, moments to linger long after the screen fades to black. Yet Moore's admiration isn't blind. He acknowledges Sam's struggles as well, the pressure of being typecast, the frustration of being defined by a single role, the challenge of stepping beyond a character the world refuses to release. Moore doesn't romanticize those struggles, he respects them. In doing so, he validates Sam not just as a star, but as a working actor navigating a relentlessly unforgiving industry. One of the most revealing things Moore has said is that Sam never treated Outlander as a stepping stone. Even when other opportunities emerged, even as Hollywood took notice, Sam remained committed. That loyalty, Moore suggests, wasn't contractual, it was personal. Sam believed in the story they were telling and felt responsible for seeing it through with integrity. As the years passed, Moore observed a shift. Sam stopped trying to prove himself and began trusting himself. His performances grew quieter, more layered, more confident in their restraint. That evolution, Moore believes, allowed Jamie Fraser to age convincingly on an emotional level, not just a physical one. Few actors manage that transition without losing their audience. Sam did. Now, as Sam moves into new projects and unexplored creative territory, Moore's praise feels almost like a benediction, a signal that what lies ahead isn't a departure from excellence, but its continuation. Moore has made it clear that whatever Sam chooses next, he has no doubt in his capacity to reinvent himself. In an industry obsessed with instant breakthroughs, Ronald D. Moore's words remind us that Sam Heughan's story is one of accumulation, not eruption. Skill built patiently, respect earned quietly, trust forged through consistency. And perhaps that's why Moore's praise resonates so deeply, because it isn't loud, inflated, or promotional. It's grounded, earned, and unmistakably sincere. When someone like Ronald D. Moore speaks about an actor this way, it's more than a compliment. It's a testament to discipline, growth, and a career shaped not by shortcuts, but by commitment. And once you hear those words, it becomes impossible to see Sam Heughan as merely a television heartthrob again. You see the work, the patience, the man behind the legend.